Hello there, good morning and welcome back here on Prime Morning. If you just joined us here on the show, a very good one to you. I believe you're doing very well as you begin to go about your daily activity. If you're joining us here on the first time, I'd like to say a big thank you to you for making time and spending time with us here on this very show. We're very excited and we're great. It's great to have you here on the show as well. Coming up as news flash, as always, we're getting to the front pages of the newspapers and then we're getting to our very major issues that we'll be talking about a bit earlier. I told you about some of the things that we'll be looking at this morning here on the show. If you're joining us, you can send us your messages on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we're streaming live. You can drop your messages over there on all the issues that we're talking about. And you can also do so on Twitter, which is now X. And of course, you can also like our page on Instagram and contribute to our conversations over there as well. Now, we're excited to bring you once again a Big Chef Junior, which you would love. There are a lot of recipes out there that you don't want to miss out on, and so please do well to watch when we begin. We'll be bringing you some updates on that, and so you can also be a part of it. Every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. we'll bring you what we call the Step Up. Whilst you entertain yourself, you get to win some prizes as well, and so do well to watch every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. and get yourself some very massive entertainment and some goodies as well. It's pretty important that you do so. Pizza Man, Chicken Man is giving you a reason to actually love eating at their place, and so we've got deals that are still running, and so please come with the family and enjoy the very best of our food. Whilst we're giving you good food, we're also giving you a discount to ensure that the entire family gets to enjoy, so you don't necessarily have to worry about how much you're going to pay for a family of 10 or 15 or 20. All you got to do is to just bring them in and you're good to go. All right, Pizza Man, Chicken Man, and of course it's always flaming hot. We love it like that. Now this morning we're going to be looking at a couple of issues that have come up. There are some breaking stories that we'll be talking about as well. UTAG and QTAG are actually not excited about the way the Wages Salary Commission is going about their meeting that they held yesterday, and they had to walk out. We'll be looking at that issue here on the show. 18 incumbent MPs have actually exited Parliament. What impact is that going to make when it comes to the floor of Parliament and the discussions of Parliament? Minority Deputy Whip is not excited about that. We'll take a look at it as well. In NPP, primaries are still ongoing. Now, in fact, yesterday there were some issues that actually came up. We'll be looking at those issues as well. 11 aspirants have been disqualified. We'll take a look at that as well. And also OSP as put into custody NIP CEO, and it's alleged that there was some spraying of monies that the OSP was not excited about. Now we're going to find out exactly what that seeks to achieve, and also we're looking at the plot to remove IGP from office. You remember that there was a committee set to investigate that issue. Now there have been some few issues that have come up with regards to that, and I thought she has come out to debunk some of those issues. We'll be looking at that also here on the show. And government is introducing VAT on the excessive consuming of electricity. We're going to be looking at that also here on the show. So those are our major issues we'll be talking about. Now I'm telling you so ahead of time. You can also drop your messages with regards to those issues. But let's first of all start from the front pages of the newspapers. Daily Graphic is here, and I want to get through it real quick and then introduce to you my guest in the studio this morning. Daily Guide on the front page says that government payroll, Ghana card linked, and initiative to eradicate ghost names. You know about the infamous ghost names that we've always talked about here in this country. Now there's plans to actually curb that situation, and government intends to use the Ghana card to do exactly that. We'll see how that is going to fare in the coming months. And also, inflation ends 2023 downwards. Page 16 has got a story on that on the front page of the Daily Graphic. And then also, no change in BEC subjects. Education Minister speaks on that as well. The Yoko retrieves 214 million Ghana cedis proceeds of crime. That also captured on the front page of Daily Graphic. Now, New Year school industries urged to conform to modern trends. That's the front page of the Daily Graphic. Real quick, failure to end Guinness World Record cooking marathon in Tamale, and that's reported on the back page of the Daily Graphic this morning. Now let's go to the Ghanaian Times, and it says parliamentary inquiry into leaked tape. Prosecutor 3 police officers committee recommends as it exonerates IGP. That's also captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Away from that, Guinness World Record attempt, failure to Abdul Razak clocks 227 hours in cooking marathon. Page 13 has got a story on that as well. And 3,000 Ghana cedis awarded against Beka Umawo for failing to file defense in 10 million Ghana cedis. Defamation case. And AFCON 2023, Black Stars arrive in La Côte d'Ivoire, and yesterday they were all looking very fabulous in very traditional Ghanaian costume, and that has also sparked some conversations on social media. You should always expect that coming up. Now, they have arrived. They're looking pretty good. Mani predicts tough AFCON for champions Senegal. So we're going to be seeing this weekend what exactly and how it's going to be beginning for the Black Stars. Please go ahead and support them. I am not backing my hopes on the Black Stars, by the way, but you can go ahead and support them. And I wish them the very best. I've stated this over here over and over again. I am for the women football team and the women only. But the Black Stars, yes, I still wish them well. Daily Guide this morning says, Nana hopeful of economic rebound. And the big story over here says, government rolls out new payroll, no Ghana card, no pay. And sometime late December, late last year, from October, December, this was actually announced that all workers, public workers, should actually go and make sure that they have their Ghana card, properly linked to their pay. If not, they will not be given their salaries. And so, yeah, it looks like that has been put into some action. So let's see how it pans out. NDC fights EC over voter Inc. and OSP arrest NIP boss. And that's also something that we'll take a look at. At the back page, it says, thank you, Kumasi, for hosting us. And Chris Hutton actually says to Kumasi, that's where the Black Stars did their campaign. And so it's proper that it says a big thank you to them. AFCON Downton Batter, possible. President says so. Barcelona director to visit Kempong Academy and take Black Stars to where it belongs. That's also something, a cry from, Ghanaians. And I'm sure, hopefully, this AFCON will be able to prove some headwinds. Now, Stonebwoy Diamond Platinums others for All African Festival, and the first Santua meets Akufo-Addo, the president, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, Davido faces investigation of Atiwa Savage threats. We spoke about that here yesterday on the show. Now, business analyst says that attack on Cape FM journalist GJA petitions IGP and NPP. And government to borrow 12.7 billion Ghana cedis via T-bills in January 2024. Inflation falls to 23.2% in December 2023. Cost of borrowing to ease. And REAP will address Ghana's unemployment challenges, YEA CEO says. So I'm confident of a prosperous Ghana before end of tenure, Akufo-Addo assures Ghanaians. Pretty much that will be the front pages of the various newspapers this morning here on the show. And let me now introduce my guest in the studio this morning, helping us dissect some of the issues that we're going to be talking about. Now, Adali bin Sheikh Umar Ibrahim is National Communications and the Director of Operations, Greater Accra Youth Wing, NDC, joining us this morning. Yesterday he was here, and he's joining us this morning again. Adele, good morning. I hope you're good.
Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Kim.
Great. Good to see you. Good to have you on the show again.
Yeah, good to be here. You found a way of bringing me back.
Awesome. That's my response. Awesome. Lawyer Kwame Jantua is senior member CPP. He's a lawyer, a squire, senior member of the CPP and energy analyst, member of a civil society platform on oil and gas, chairman non-agric sector JIPA, chairman oil and gas sector AGI. He's also a member of GANEP's board of public procurement authority and the chairman Ghana Energy Awards, member of COSEGA and also electricity CEO, CSO, dealing with power providers, stakeholders, and he is joining us here this morning. And let me say Happy New Year, so just so we all know that we're seeing him for the first time here in the new year. So good morning to you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Improvement in Kojokro.
I didn't see that one coming.
Improvement in Kojokro, I must say.
The other side, yes, I know.
I'm telling you, the approach to this place alone. I walked and I said, is this the pride that I know?
You know?
Anyway, it's good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
It's good to start the year with such a beautiful set. So let's see how it goes.
Oh, it will go well.
Oh, this is perhaps first time in the new studio.
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
Yes. He's a big family of this place, but he's the first time coming in. Thank you so much for the time this morning. We appreciate you. And of course, coming from the NPP and also government spokesperson on economy and finance, my brother Manasseh Atta Bwine joining us this morning. Happy. You've been here this year.
Of course.
Okay, so good morning to you.
Very good morning to you. And KMJ, happy belated birthday to you.
Oh, yes.
We are so proud of you, and we pray the Lord will continue to bless you. And very soon, I am confident that we will see you in a position where we would have to go through a lot of protocol to reach you.
Yes, so you are the one coming to power.
Yes.
Or you are the one possibly coming to power.
We would go through a lot of protocol to reach you.
But that isn't.
That's not a good thing.
That isn't a good thing.
No, it's a prophecy I'm giving him.
Yeah, but it's not a good thing.
It's good.
No.
So a prophecy on a good
It should be easily
Exactly.
accessible.
KMJ,
Easily accessible.
KMJ is Zongo boy. KMJ enter everywhere.
KMJ, that's your prophecy.
So
You'll
the
be
prophecy
great.
is to
You'll be
go
great.
higher.
You'll be so great.
Inshallah.
If they do come back, you have a position.
You know, we should be talking about that. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much. I don't take for granted your presence here. I really appreciate you. So I've been struggling this morning where exactly we can begin our conversations from, because a lot of issues have come up and some of them are breaking stories. And so maybe I possibly would want us to start from the breaking stories first. And it means that we're going to be starting off with the U-tag and the T-tag issue, the walking out of the meeting. And well, they have spoken their minds about it. And so the University Teachers Association of Ghana, U-tag, and the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, T-tag, actually worked out in a meeting with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. It was supposed to have been, very, very smooth meeting. And remember that sometime last year we brought this conversation up, and there was a supposed meeting that was going to happen, and they were looking forward to having a very good dialogue to settle some of their grievances. But unfortunately, there was a walkout, and they stated bad faith, contempt, and lackadaisical attitude on the part of the employer, which of course they're referring to the Fair Wages and Salary Commission towards the discussion that they were supposed to have had. They believe that it was an important conversation, that deliberation that was supposed to have happened, but unfortunately they had to walk out. Let me start off with you, a lawyer. We wanted a very smooth conversation with regards to this. I mean, it was in the paper sometime last year. We spoke about it, that they were supposed to have this meeting to resolve some of the issues. But how do we get to this point?
What are some of the issues we're talking about? Look, then let's sit and discuss.
They made a promise to them last year.
You made a promise. If the money
Yeah.
isn't there, just tell us. The money isn't there. The way the country is going, our finances aren't in place. Really, we cannot pay the kind of monies you're talking about. Yeah, we know we've promised, but looking at the trajectory, it's not going to be possible. And let's sit across the table and talk. This walkout isn't good for anybody. It doesn't bode well for UTAG. It doesn't bode well for the
TUTAG as well, even the Fair Wages.
Exactly. Look, we've gotten to a place where the country is in dire straits. Let's be honest. Let's be transparent.
Will the people accept the honesty with these institutions or, bodies, if you like? Accept the fact that government has been honest with us.
We create it. Government creates it. Because if you tell us we don't have money, and you as government, you can't cut your expenditure and spending, how do you expect people to believe you? That's why I talk about transparency. It has to be transparent. Discussions have to be transparent. I would even like a situation where the Minister of Education is part and parcel of these negotiations. Because who suffers?
It's the education.
Exactly. It's the children who suffer.
Yeah.
It's the youth who suffer.
Yeah.
And education is key. It's the one natural resource a country has that can move a country forward. And if you're going through the challenges that we're going through, it doesn't bode well. It doesn't bode well. Did they not work out the last time?
Yeah.
They walked out because of same issues, trust, isn't it? So let's try and build some kind of cordial relationship. UTAC are there because of who? They're because of us. The teachers and lecturers are there because of who? Because of us. It's the people who suffer. We sit in the background and we see these things happening and we ask ourselves, what is going wrong? What is it that we can't sit and discuss? Look, the system is tough. No two ways about it. And everybody wants to find a way of making money. Yes? These tutors, do they have that option? The option they have is, okay, me too, I'll go and do galamsey somewhere. In terms of, I'll see whether I can get any private institution to also go and work there. And who suffers?
It comes back.
Exactly. Exactly. So please, let's stop this argy-bargy. And let's see how best. Look, when they decided to walk out, that was when the person who was leading UTAC just said, please, 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 do sit. Sit, let's see how best we can solve this problem. So, if they go on strike, nobody our youth who are suffering.
Yeah.
Nobody the schools who are suffering. And it takes the school period back. Let's stop this. And it's a situation where the minister should set in, if possible, even the presidency should set in. The vice president can set in and say, no, we started a new year. We can't go down this line. Let's find a better way to negotiate. And then you can even put installments into the mix. Okay, you're asking for this. This is the pot of money that is there. This is what we expect to come in. So maybe we might not be able to give you this now. However, we will try our possible best to see how we stretch it. Agreeable? Okay, so how are you going to stretch it? What percentage are you going to stretch? Okay, we are prepared to stretch X. No, if you stretch X, it won't help us. Probably do it this way. And then stick to it. Stick to it. Don't wait when the time is due, then you now come back and say something different. No, because government is spending, isn't it? What was the budget they gave us this year? Wasn't it about 12 billion? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. About 12 billion. Where is that money going to come from? Are the teachers part of that money? So please, let's stop this kind of argy-bargy. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help us. Especially at the beginning of the new year. No, I don't think so.
And that's where the problem seems to have come from, because it's way too early for a walkout.
Too early.
You know, in the
too early. They must have been really pissed off, excuse my English, when they sat and probably they didn't see the trust element coming from UTAC. I mean, let's stop this.
Manasseh, I'll come to you. And then again, I want us to emphasize on the reasons why the walkout actually happened. And they mentioned, so that we know how we drive our conversation. Like you rightly said, bad faith, which of course would go around and then comes back to trust. You know, and also they mentioned content.
Trust is key in everything.
Exactly.
Trust is key in everything. If I can't trust you, why should I involve with you? Why should I discuss with you? I need to be able to trust what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you tell me, Kwame, get here by 6:15, and I get here by 6:15, and the program is starting at 6:45, how can I trust you next time? I don't trust you.
Yeah. Very well. Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on. Manasseh.
Yes, KMJ.
Yeah.
A very good morning to you. A very good morning to Lawyer Jantwa and Adele. And let me use this opportunity to say a very good morning to my boss, the Minister for Information and MP for Fasia Rebe, Honorable Kojo Apon-Nkrumah, and also to appreciate him for the kind of development he has brought to his constituency, and also to plead on the delegates, the NPP delegates, to maintain him in the upcoming primaries on the 27th of January 2024. KMJ, as it relates to the conversation or the walkouts by UTAG and TTAG in their negotiations with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, I mean, for government, our goal is to ensure that we are able to leverage on the gains of these lectures, to ensure we are able to meet them halfway, to ensure we give them what they need so that lectures would also continue. And so we are not happy that yesterday it got to a stage where they had to walk out. And I can assure them that this matter will be taken and it will be dealt with at the highest level to ensure that next time and very soon, pretty soon, I am sure we are going to engage them and I'm sure we will not find any incidences where they will have to walk out. And all these boils down to money. Indeed, there has been a lot of demands on the coffers of government, and I am confident that because we do not want to downplay education, and given the significance of what education can do in our setting today, I'm confident we'll be able to, provide some kind of headway for the lecturers. Because when you look at what they are doing, sometimes there have been complaints about the book and research allowances and some others. And it's something we are paying critical attention to. The education sector, of course, has received some kind of support from government over the years. And I am confident that it is pretty much instructive for us to pay more attention to it. And so we'll continue to plead with TTAG and UTAG that they should exercise some kind of restraints with government, and we are sure that in our next sitting with them, it wouldn't reach a point where
are we going to get there
have to,
from?
Of course.
The things they were citing about.
Kenji, that's why I mentioned that the next meeting, I'm sure, will be held at the top level at the resources.
That we
and you
can
see,
assure them or make even another promise.
Even if
we
we
made
don't,
the same promise, we gave the same assurance.
Even if we don't have the money, I'm sure there are some basic commitments we can negotiate and agree with them on, so that they'll be able to see. Once they're able to see government's commitment and demonstration to that effect, I believe we wouldn't have incidences. What we don't want is to witness a lot of strikes by UTAG and TTAG. It's not something we want this year, and so I am confident that we are going to make a lot more provisions for them to ensure that as soon as possible we are able to meet them on their demands, and also ensure safe fulfillment of the academic calendar to ensure we don't experience any strike in country again.
So why didn't that happen now?
In the meeting that happened
Yes, why
yesterday?
didn't it happen? What stopped them? If my brother is saying that next time, the next time is now. Let's discuss it now. And if
Because it's going to take another weeks and months probably for them to even come down.
And if he says, and if he says next time he's going to, the higher people are going to talk about, who are these higher people? Who are these higher people? We don't have the time to wait. We are in an election year. Things are going to be bumped back to back. We have the opportunity, let's do it now. Call them back tomorrow. If the higher people are going to sit in, call them back tomorrow. Let's see how best we can sort it out. Sikani wa hodia, yanka sikani ni wa
We would make provisions for them.
Okay.
Whether we have money or not, KMJ, it is very important for us to ensure that our education system runs effectively, and so whether we have the money or not, even if we don't have the money, I'm sure we can squeeze ourselves, to ensure we're able to raise some revenue for them.
How?
Lawyer, it will be done. Lawyer, it will be done. Lawyer, it is possible.
What's the how?
It is very, very possible. It is possible. Yes, that's why I mentioned that at the highest level, they will be called, and we will ensure that we are able to meet them halfway, and also to engender their confidence in government, ensuring that whatever they need, even if we are unable to provide for all their demands, we would be able to meet some halfway to ensure that they continue with lectures for us.
Okay. Adele.
KMJ. The issue of UTAG and TTAG, I remember last year we had this conversation on the show.
There was an assurance from
exactly.
It was just direct assurance that this issue will be solved once and for all.
Yes. And I remember indicating that we'll be back here after some months and have this conversation again, You see, what you have to understand is that things are tough. Whether we like it or not, things are tough. People are having to do a whole lot of things to be able to raise funds to take care of family. Teachers, lecturers, these are people that, it has never been easy for them. I mean, I have said on a couple of occasions that if there's anybody that needs to be really catered for in terms of, salaries and the likes and allowances, it should be the teacher. Everybody else passes through them. Everybody else. From the doctors to the engineers, everybody else passes through them. But the average teacher is struggling sometimes to pay his own son's, college education, and that's a problem. There's a teacher that had his son on dialysis, and I remember when Joy went for this Julabi, that was, a lady spoke about it, and you could tell the pain with which she spoke about it. He can't afford his son's dialysis. So life is difficult. How much money we need to spend to survive today is not how much money we used to spend to survive. KMG, there used to be a time when you wake up in the morning and you want to take, say, cocoa, an average cocoa. You buy cocoa 1 cedi, puff. You buy cocoa 1 cedi. You buy bread 1 cedi, tea bread, there's a way they slice them in pieces. You buy tea bread 1 cedi, and then you buy kosi, sometimes 40 pesos or 1 cedi. They just cut it in and then drop it in, and then you have your porridge, you're good to go. I met a friend who told me that about in 2015, 2016, when he leaves home with 10 cedis, he's able to buy for himself, buy for his wife, and buy for his co-worker. Now, when he moves out with the 10 cedis, the porridge alone, the minimum you can get, which is okay, that 1 cedi porridge is now 4 cedis.
And it's watery.
Then you have to, then you have to buy bread. The bread alone, that bread we used to cut at 1 cedi. Now it's no more 1 cedi. The bread they're cutting at 4 cedis, 5 cedis.
It's very light.
And the bar fruit, the bar loaf that we used to know, is now selling for 2 cedis for one. The kose is 1 cedi for one. Kose that used to be 20 pesos. So obviously, life is difficult. But you see, the difficulty again, and what makes it uncomfortable, and what raises the tension and the anger, is the government's lack of. What word do I use to make people get this? Like the government's lack of understanding of the people's situation. So we're all here, we're all struggling. You say we should tighten our seatbelts. We say no problem, we're tightening our seatbelts. And then you're wasting money. You're wasting so much money. Recently we heard the issue of SML, $100 million a year. For what? For what, and then GRA says, we didn't sign any agreement. Then later our government says that we want to investigate the contract between GRA and... GRA says we didn't sign an agreement. So what are you investigating, signing an agreement between GRA and SML? So there's too much wastage in the system. And any average worker who sees himself struggling, going and coming, get up, 5 a.m., organize, get to class, teach, notes, mark, back and forth constantly, and sees what he's receiving, and then something which rightly belongs to him, you're sitting on it. What we have given you as heads of states, and what we have given you as ministers and parliamentary, candidates, and what we have given you, you have taken. You take your salaries every month. You don't fail it. Every month, you take your allowances. When you're traveling outside the country, you make sure you get your allowance and you pay the ends. Why can't they have theirs? Some years back, they would have said, NDC is incompetent. That is why all these things are happening. I mean, under them, it's quite amazing. I would say, and I would appeal to government, that look, whether you like it or not, these are monies you need to pay. And sometimes it depends on your own demeanor. You're begging me, you owe me money, KMJ, you owe me money. I'm begging you, I need money to pay my son's school fees. You say you don't have it. I'm begging you, I need my money to pay my mom's health bills at the hospital. You say you don't have the money. I come to your house and I come and see you relaxed. You've bought 1 can of milk and you poured it for your dog to drink.
Is that what the government is doing?
That is what it looks. And that is what it is. The wastage is too much. There's so much we need to do that is not being done. Are you aware of the fact that when you go to Tadi today, and this issue, I don't know who has seen it and who is really talking about it. All the town roads, all the major roads in Takoradi has been taken off from the days of Sino-Hydro. The market circle, it's been brought down and they fenced it with green sheets.
The roads are terrible.
I was there in December, just in December.
Great. You know what happened? So the Chinese are doing their jobs, Sino-Hydro, they're working. They have scuffles between themselves and government. Nobody's really talking about this thing. You know what they did? They took off the entirety of the roads, all the major roads, they took it off, and then during the rainy season, they packed them left.
And it's terrible driving on those roads.
And it's
terrible.
yes.
Terrible.
And it's like, and nobody is even saying to us what happened with that project. What happened? Why have they left? You know, like
I got lost somehow.
Like
I couldn't figure out.
it doesn't make any sense
at a point.
Look, and when you're talking to them, they refuse to listen. A typical example is, how are you going to get it done? So it will be done. It will be done just like that. It will be done. How are you going to get it done? How do we resolve the issues? Where is the leader? Where is someone? Can't the president pick up? Look, no matter how the situation is, if the president picked up a call and called the head of TUTAG and called the head of UTAG and say, look, come, I want to see you one-on-one. Let's have a conversation. Let's have dinner. Let's talk. Something would be done. Like,
Should it get to that point?
It has passed that.
The president has all these people in place.
KMJ, when you have
the committee, I mean,
yes.
Why should it get to that point?
The buck stops with him.
Why
at this stage?
Yeah,
why is their general secretary calling on the president that some changes must be done? Says, wouldn't himself you're a minister. If you know you're a minister, you're this and you're tired, chief executive, you're tired and you can't do it anymore. Just look for somewhere and sit. People are calling on the president for how long now to just make changes for things to be done right. If you refuse to do it, then you might as well step in. This is what it is. Make a phone call. Come down to the people's level. Enter the gutters with them. But like this last 1 year, Nana Aduwewio, like he doesn't care what happens. Like we're all just sitting down and waiting for elections 2024. And then I heard him reply, the Speaker of Parliament is like, look, I'm not a lame duck.
He still has the power?
He still has the power, but he's not doing anything. You understand? So it's like everyone for himself, God for us all. That's where we got into. But they must be careful going forward because this back and forth, at the end of the day, the person who affects the most is the student. And then our calendar gets messy and then we go back and forth and all. It doesn't help anybody. The people are asking for what is genuinely theirs. They're not begging. Let's say, this is ours. Give it to us. How is that a problem? You will take yours. You will take your per diem. You will fly in the air with water and be bathing in the sky. You can't be.
You know, I would have loved this last year of the president. He leaves with certain legacies. This is one of them. Let the people feel you. Let the people feel your empathy. So if you're not getting any way with salaries and wages, call them. Call their heads. Hey, Mama, let's sit down. Come for lunch, as Adele is saying. Let's sit down. Let's go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. Everybody gets to understand. And he being the president, tell them where the country is today, we cannot afford it. However, we are ready to do A, B, C, D, E. I give you my word. Simple. If the president were to call you today, Samuel Simon will call you today, would you not listen?
Of course. That's the first gentleman.
Yes, first gentleman of the land. As a child, when you're fighting and you're doing all sorts of things, and your father calls you, or your grandfather calls you, and says, Kwame, this thing you are doing, it has to stop. A, B, C, D. Would you not think about it? Would you not stop? Let's feel him in this last year. If you've been up there for the last 8 years, come down to home. Let the people feel your empathy. Let the people feel that you care. And just talk to them. And that discussion you have with them should be true. Should be honest. It shouldn't be an excuse to get them to come off a possible strike. And if you're transparent and truthful, a lot of things can happen in a positive way. But we don't seem to see that, unfortunately.
Anyway, so do not forget that this morning the president says that he is very confident of a very prosperous Ghana, especially by the end of his tenure. And so that's also something that we have to start thinking about. But let's move on to our next topic.
Define prosperous. Define prosperous.
Define prosperous. I made that definition, but
you just can't use words. Define it and tell us the how.
His Excellency is he's just a fun person. Yeah, he likes
let's
talk
serious
about
matter. It's not fun. It's serious matter.
No, but that's
Don't say how
don't say how KMG did that.
You know, sometimes when you drive the roads, and you see people carrying
It's difficult.
water and all
difficult.
this. You can see the drudgery in their faces.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
Very difficult, honestly.
Very difficult.
So yesterday, the OSPA made an arrest, and was the CEO of NIP, Ofosun Cancer, who has been allegedly sharing money to delegates, and then he got arrested for that. We're yet to know what the situation looks like as of this morning. But Manasseh,
Yes.
what happened?
KMJ, before that, I want to mention that the president was really serious when he mentioned that 2024 promises to be a prosperous new year. And by that, he meant that government is not reneging on its efforts in ensuring that we are able to stabilize the economy. Today, as we know, just yesterday, the government statistician announced that inflation that stood at 54.1% in December 2022 has declined to 23.2%, a massive reduction by some 30.9%. That is one. And we are also seeing some stability in our city. There are a lot of government interventions in ensuring that most of the young people have jobs to do. Youth in Agric, other support by NIP, Ghana Enterprise Agency, Youth Employment Authority, and all of that, in ensuring that we are able to create the enabling environments to enable the young people to work. And so all these are part of what the president meant when he mentioned that indeed this year promises to be a prosperous year. And so, Adele, it is not true that the president has power and he's not doing anything. The president is indeed working. And you see, when you look at the works of government, it's not about talking. Sometimes we do a lot of brainstorming and implementation of government policies, and we wait for the time lag to take effect for us to see the results of these policies. And so it can never be said that the president has a lot of power, and because this is his last term, he's not doing anything. He's really working. He doesn't even sleep. The kind of meetings, and he's always on the ministers, always on the CEOs. And so I wish there could be an opportunity for maybe me to take you to the president or something, just for you to observe what happens daily. Then I'm sure
we can have that experience.
Yes, I'm sure. Probably that would change. That would change the perception.
Hey,
Of course, it will change his perception.
Why
and he will never mention that he's not doing anything. He would never say that the president is not doing anything because he's leaving at the end of the year. That is not the case. I mean, yes.
One thing you should realize, we don't have the time to wait. We don't have the time to wait. We have left things right to the last minute. Right now, we don't have the time to wait. We are heading into an election.
And there are so many things that will be happening. You don't even
of course, and that's why I'm explaining that government is not reneging.
Happening this year.
Government is not reneging. We are really working.
Let's see.
In ensuring that we have a stable economy, and that's what we are doing.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So let's see. Let's see by the end of the year. Let's see.
It's going to be a busy year, no doubt.
It's a very busy year.
It is.
It's not a year that you even have time. Any of that to
busy year.
Anyway, you can tie in the issue of the Ofosun Cancer's arrest.
Right. So yesterday, breaking news, we heard that the CEO of National Entrepreneurship and Innovations
Program, yeah.
Ofosun Cancer, Kofi Ofosun Cancer, was arrested by the OSP. And there were several allegations ongoing. And I'm choosing my words carefully. These are allegations. I do not know the reason why the OSP arrested him.
It was alleged that it was sharing.
Alleged. So, alleged. And indeed...
So we can stick to that,
yes,
for now.
So sticking to the reason for the arrest, being sharing money to delegates. I mean, even during the Christmas period and in this new year, there has been several incidences of MPs or even aspirants meeting their delegates, meeting their constituents, and extending a helping hand to them, sharing of bags of rice, even money, other products. And so, I mean, I think the arrest was unnecessary. It wasn't called for. I am looking for the opportunity for the OSP to probably come out. I don't know if he had intel that Kofi had stolen money or something. I don't know. But you cannot arrest someone just because you think the person is sharing money to delegates. If that's the case, then the OSP has a lot of work to do because you have to arrest each and every MP in this country. he would have to arrest both the opposition MPs, even those in opposition, and even all our MPs today. I do not know why there will be personality targets. And when you listen to the various conversations around this, again, there has been an allegation by the constituency secretary that there are some internal wranglings between, Kofi and Honorable Ayimedu, and these are unsubstantiated facts. And so I really will not go into it, but I want to state categorically that I do not find the arrest by the OSP to be necessary. He has a lot of work to do, and if there are a lot of corruption and corruption-related incidences, he would have to go after. We are still waiting for answers from the Honorable Cecilia Dape's issues and a lot more. And so I do not see why, allegedly, once you are told that someone is sharing money, then you quickly go in, unless there is an intel that probably that is stolen money or something else that we are not in the known. Otherwise, if it is indeed true that the money, it was just because of sharing money to delegates, and I find that to be very unfortunate and unnecessary.
Okay. Doc, let me come to you.
I'm not a doctor, I'm a lawyer.
You'll soon be.
You'll soon be, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I always call him Prof.
Yes, Prof, indeed.
On an ordinary...
The positions played.
Yes.
And they all accumulate to be
Yes.
in the doc position.
On an ordinary day, will money be shared to delegates? On any ordinary day, will money be shared to delegates? Huh? Would you go and give delegates money on any ordinary day? Buy rice, buy oil, on any ordinary day. Will you do it?
No.
You see, what I don't understand about the OSP, and remember, this is specific in the sense that it's an internal election.
Yeah.
It's not a national election.
Yeah.
It's an internal election. What happened in the last internal election of the NPP? What happened? Did delegates not come and tell us that they were giving money? Did they not tell us? So why hasn't he been able to put a structure together to inquire about what happened then? People who received the money came to tell us on TV, on your set, that this one brought 400, this one brought 300. We took it. Should he not arrest those people? For those people to be able to tell him who gave them the money? So why is he doing selective justice? Why is he doing selective justice? Are you saying what happened then is different from this alleged what has happened now? Not different. So is he trying to play politics too? Look, I've done something about this money thing that we are talking about. Is that what he's trying to tell us? Look, corruption is corruption, and that is his responsibility. Go out there and follow every allegation of corruption in our elections. Buying of votes is a serious thing. Because by the time you realize, those who will be controlling our economy will be gangsters, will be drug peddlers, will be those who have illicit money because they've been able to pay their way. They've been able to get people who they think can help them promote what they are doing into government. So, for me, this alleged arrest or this alleged spraying of money should not end there. He should go for all the others in the presidential election who were said to have paid money. Vice President Bawumia was said to have paid how much?
And that also came.
Kennedy Japan was said to have paid how much? Go into it. Let's say you're working as an independent OSP. Let's say you're working as an independent OSP. Then the people can have confidence in you. Look, the law has got to do with confidence. The way the judiciary work has got to do with confidence. And that confidence should be shown by you for the people to know that if I take my case to the OSP, it will be done transparently and to be done confident, and we will know that he is working. But at the present moment, you've just done this one when there have been others. Let's see where it goes.
Let's see where it goes indeed. And if you just join us, you can also send us your messages. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can drop your messages over there. Any of the issues we've talked about, you can send your contributions to it. So I'm going to take Adele's, and I'll come back to the messages. Let me finish with Adele on this very particular issue, and then I'll come back to some of the messages that we've received this morning. Adele, it's becoming difficult, especially that particular position, OSP. When you mention it, almost everybody seems to have an issue with it. Just when you feel the person is very capable of doing the job, things start happening, and then we are now feeling like it wouldn't even, make any sense in the first place.
Truth of the matter is that at least we've had two examples. Martin Amidu.
Yeah.
And then we have our current OSP. KMJ, both of them have spoken a certain language. And the language they have spoken is that they are not given the opportunity to do their work the way they have to. I mean, the current OSP spoke not too long ago, Ankwanoma.
The press conference that brought...
Remember, I'll just do, when I start something, I want to finish it. However, that's a nice way of telling you that, these guys. And then he goes ahead to tell you that very soon, there'll be criminals in certain places.
Yeah.
He says that categorically. That the system is not working. The most painful part is that this is all happening under somebody that we believed, the people of Ghana at least believed back then, that is the man who would uphold the rule of law. I would use the Anas principle. I would do this, I would do that. The president simply just talks too much. He talks too much. To an extent that Martin can call him the mother serpent of corruption. Like, do you know what? KMJ, it is one problem to be called a serpent. That alone is a problem. It's a major problem. Like Adam and Eve and the serpent, And now they're saying you're the mother of all of that. That's huge. But you see, it is not the office of the special prosecutor that is the problem. He can arrest. He has arrested. There are so many cases that are being prosecuted as we speak. Which one of them has he succeeded in jailing anyone? Which one? Since. Which one? Which one has Martin Amidu succeeded on? Which one? Because when you try, somebody is up there who is clearing. SML, they say let's investigate. In 2 weeks' time, it will come out. They'll say, nothing is there. There's nothing there. Nothing is there. If you do not investigate cases to its logical conclusion, how do you conclude that there's nothing there? KMJ, there's a reason why we investigate. There's a reason why we invite. So my advice to the OSP is that, look, until he starts touching certain people, all these things are just games. Why? The vice president, in the last elections that went, spent almost 80 million. When Joy did their tabulations and the like, spent almost 80 million Ghana cedis on primaries. That is 800 billion. 800 billion. How much are we paying teachers? KMJ, So I start to ask myself, okay.
The vice president is not a government.
I don't know, fine. The
government pays the teachers.
No problem. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. KMJ, listen. There was a time in this country where you had someone like His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings enter into the gutters and would carry, railway tracks together with the people carrying cocoa. Leadership by example. What would hurt the president or the vice president to say that, look, I am going for an election? I've been saying this within the NDC, the NPP. I've been saying this, and it's critical. I am going for an election. You're a member of parliament. You say you are going for an election, no problem. You're a vice president. You're going for an election, no problem. I have this much from sponsors to support me to go for the election. The people of my party, this is what I intend to do. I intend to build a hospital in every constituency. I intend to build a hospital in one region. I intend to do. Why can't you put that money to good use? Why can't you go to Osu Children's Home? And I'm saying, virtue of this, give me the mandate.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
Political party funding, isn't it supervised by the Electoral Commission?
Yes.
Aren't politicians supposed to be able to say, this is how I got my money?
Yes.
So what's happened?
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, this is what I have. This is where I got it from. This is how I'm spending it. So 2 members of parliament, they're coming to contest. One says, I want to build a 4-story building hospital for the community as my commitment to the community to show you that I can do more. Instead of sharing 100 Ghana, 200 Ghana, 300, 400, 500 Ghana, I would use that money. Because when you go to the churches and the mosque, KMG, that's what we do. We take 1 city, 2 city, 3 city, 4 city, 5 cities, and then we put it together and we build something. So when you have it in masses, why are you sharing it in bits and pieces? Why are you not making it? Why are you not creating something out of it? And then he says selective justice. Rightly so, and I agree with him. Because the vice president is working free. I mean, some indemnity, I know.
I said selective.
Lawyer said that.
Lawyer said that, yeah. So at the end of the day, some people are working free. The vice president should be investigated.
Is there something else attached to this that probably we're not privy to? And that's why Manasseh also said that maybe there could be something else that we do know.
No.
And that's the reason why this arrest was important, because really.
Let's say that, yes, there's something that is pricking the OSP to embark on this. The question we're asking is that what he's embarking on, is it right or wrong? It is right. You don't go into an election, there's moderation in everything, KMJ. There's moderation in everything. When the NDC went for their primaries, John Dramani Mahama was giving 40 Ghana cedis. 40 cedis. 40 cedis, today, when you pick it up and you're even picking a taxi from here to my place, Fish Pond, you spend more than 40 cedis. That is what you call average. Even that, some of us said that, we could have probably done 20 or 10. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the numbers that are involved.
Why the need to give the money to anyone in the first place?
It's a fail.
CPP, PPP, NPP, NDC. Even if it's 10.
It doesn't come anywhere close. It doesn't come anywhere close to what the vice president said.
Why is that money supposed to be given to that person?
KMJ.
For what?
KMJ, I'll tell you something. We go for elections on any day. We get to the grounds. They say, delegates are coming in. I am a delegate. I vote. You go and then you go to vote, and then the candidates come. Sometimes they bring water. Sometimes they'll bring food. People are queuing in the heat. Sometimes they'll come and put tents and all of that. It's support. The man said, take 40 cedis for transport. Everybody knows that if JDM did not give that 40 cedis, he still would have gotten the votes. It's courtesy. Take 40 cedis.
So why didn't he just stay away from it?
He could have.
So we don't.
So I'm coming. So I'm saying he could have. He could have.
He could have.
No problem. He could have. He could have. I'm saying that, but he did. He gave it up. We're saying moderation. 20 cedis, 10 cedis, 30 cedis. Everything you want to do, when it reaches a certain height, it is ridiculous. In totality, I think it's about 14 million or something the NDC under John Dramani Mahama was spent. The vice presidential candidate has spent 80 million. How is that moderation? 80. Meanwhile, we have more delegates than they have. We have 400,000 plus. 80 million, according to Joy. Plus, because, this is just 80 million. You compare 80 million to 14. In all earnestness, like in all wisdom. You want to bring this. Look, it's not, this is 14. It's not 20, it's not 30, it's not 40, it's not 50, it's not 60, 80. 800 billion. Moderation. In everything, moderation. Moderation. You do it with limit. And then you think about the people. And this is around the time Volta region was underwater. 30,000 people underwater. We have this money to spend. And then you want to arrest who? You don't know how to investigate the vice president. And all these other people involved.
KMJ, you know the problem. You know the problem. Successive governments in this Fourth Republic have failed to put an effective public transport system in place. If you put a strong public transport system in place, why would I need to come for you for transportation
for the
and
money
all
you're
that?
giving to,
Because it will be working throughout the country. Yes, I agree to some extent that food, they've stood in the hot sun, so you can provide food. But the mere fact that even if you produce 40 cedis for an individual, somebody would take it differently. It shouldn't come from leaders who are vying for the high post of office. Yes, it shouldn't. Monocracy should be put aside. Governments, when they come into power, should do the right thing. Put in an effective transport system. Put in stops where people can stop and buy food and do all that, so that you don't have to soil our electoral system with money. With money. Where's the National Development Plan? If you feel you can't put it in your manifesto, bring a National Development Plan where everybody is part and parcel of it.
In Constitution Day, that conversation came up.
Yes.
There's been a lot of concerns about a National Development
so
Plan.
if you do not put an effective transport system in place, how do you expect your delegates to get to the center? And if for nothing at all, why don't we then decide that, okay, we don't expect people to come to a center. Where you are, vote there. That system should be put in place to stop this monocracy, because it is not helping us. And the way it's going, it will determine our presidents going forward. And that won't help any of us. There has to be a stop to it somewhere, because it's not helping.
Absolutely, it's not helping. Now, we're going to take some messages and then we'll move on to our next topic. We'll be looking at the plots to remove the IGP. Atachi has come out. The chairman for the committee has actually come out to speak about the leaked draft report. We'll take a look at that. But let's get some messages that we have. If we have them, let's kindly get some of the messages that we have, and then we'll come back to this, the other conversation. In the meantime, you can send us your messages. We're streaming live on our Facebook platform, so all the conversations we're having over here, you can just go there in real time. You can drop your messages over there. We've looked about 3 issues already, so you can just, let us know what you think about it. This one says, good morning, Prime Morning. Did I hear correctly that Finance Minister has instructed for a 15% VAT on electricity? We're going to be looking at that issue as part of our conversation this morning as well. Can I have the next messages? This one, Patrick Opong Jr. Kingsley says, happy birthday to the legend, and may he continue to rest well. Okay, you didn't put Christian Achu, I think so. Yeah, his birthday was yesterday as well. Do we have any other comment that we can? Okay, so you can keep your messages coming through. Let's move on to our next topic. So in the words of the chairman of the Parliament's ad hoc committee, Samuel Atachi, he says that with the greatest of respect, this is not the handwork of the committee, and he explained that the members of the committee are waiting for the clerk to tease out a report for our consideration, and it's very distasteful that anybody bandies this about this as the report of the committee. A report of the committee will be signed by a committee, will be also signed by the chairman and the clerk, and he spoke about it on Newsday on Joy FM. Now, so there's been an alleged leaked draft report that actually vindicates the IGP in the entire plots to remove the IGP from office conversation that happened. That, of course, a committee was set in place to actually investigate that. The chairman has come out to say that there's nothing like that yet. Manasseh, let me start off with you.
Okay, so yes, we all await the report, from the committee that was set up by Parliament to investigate the plot to remove the IGP. And Ghanaians await with keen interest. However, once the chairman of the committee has come out to debunk all the allegations, I suspect there has been a release of the report in one way or the other, and he is debunking that it is not from them and it doesn't represent the committee in any way. And so we do await the fine details of the report and also to know what it entails. And so I will just leave it at that. But I also want to address an issue, Adele raised by saying that the president talks too much. I feel that is unfortunate. As president, periodically, you are supposed to address the nation and also to update Ghanaians on what is happening in government. And so I do not find it, refreshing at all for him to mention that the president talks too much.
That's by way of doing his work as the president.
He said it in a negative sense, and that is not.
Adele, did you mean it that way?
He meant that.
So
Adele, yes or no?
Let me just say this. So when I say the president talks too much, I said it in reference to the fact that he says things and doesn't see them through. When you say something, see it through. When you say, I am putting my job on the line on Galamsey, make sure when it gets worse, you put your job on the line. Like, your word is your bond. Don't say there will be no haircuts and there's haircut. Don't tell me I'm building 350 senior high schools and rehabilitating the rest and then you don't build it. So he talks too much on the basis of the fact that he says things and doesn't see it through. That's what I'm saying.
KMJ, and on that, there is a problem. Because you see, whatever the president has said, when you subject his statements to checks, you realize that he has really delivered on most of the things he has said. When it comes to the fight against corruption, it is not an event. It is not a daily activity where you do one or two things and that is it. It is a continuous, continuous project.
He didn't know that.
And it cannot end in a day. And when you look at the kind of investments our president has done, you sit here, you remember what your own candidate said. He said that, as for all of you who are even engaged in galamsey, who have been incarcerated, when I come, I will release all of you so that you go back and do galamsey. So what are you talking about? You look at the kind of investment His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done as it relates to the fight against galamsey. It is highly unprecedented. And the fight continues. Of course, there will be few hitches here and there. It doesn't mean we are relenting on that. And again, you mentioned education. I tell you today, I dare say that when it comes to education, we have invested a lot more in education than you did when you were in power. Even the e-blocks that you saw to build, you built only 29. We have completed over 32 and even counting. We have done more. Today, when you go to every second cycle institution, every senior high school, even the basic schools, basic high schools and the rest, you would find massive infrastructure projects across. That is what we have done. It comes to the free SHS, whether you like it or not. Yes, there are one or two issues with it, but today, money isn't the sole prerogative of children going to school.
Okay.
And so when it comes to you saying it is never true. The president indeed has delivered on his promises, and he continues to do a lot more on that.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me ask my other question. You talk about the president dealing with corruption. Where are we on the corruption index? In the last 8 years, where are we?
This is a continuous project.
Where are we? 8 years. So let's take
gradually we'll be moving
from 2016 to 2023. Where are we on the corruption index? Are we up? Are we down? Where are we? Have we not heard the world say that corruption in Ghana is rife? So if the president is working, why are we still where we are where corruption is concerned? Why? You ask these questions and, they buffet you. They know he's working, but you don't see it. You need to see it physically, that it is happening. Corruption is rife in this country. Not two ways about it. And whose responsibility is it? Look, people will tell you, the president is busy. There are so many things the president can't handle. When we voted him in, did we vote him in for international business alone? His main preoccupation is here. And so when we ask these questions, we need the answers. Where is corruption today? Ajigon?
Lawyer, on the Ajigon note, you go ahead.
Corruption indeed is endemic. And over the years, every government has had to struggle in the fight against corruption. And no one said that the president was voted to deal with international business. No one mentioned that. The president, of course, has a duty to his country in ensuring that there is stability and to keep Ghanaians up and doing in their various respective works. And so it cannot be said that probably the president is all about international duty whatsoever. In the fight against corruption, even with what the former OSP said, Martin Amidu said, he couldn't even produce any scintilla of evidence to even prove the mother serpent adage that he mentioned. And so in our fight against corruption, it is ongoing. We have been able to even incarcerate a lot of people who have been engaged in corruption and corruption-related incidences. We have a lot of people, even from the various financial sector, who are in prison today because they are engaged in corruption. And when you even check the various budgets of the various ministries, there has been a lot of incidences where through the Controller and Accountant General, or even the General Audit report that I received, government has been able to recoup and even to find those who are found guilty as it relates to corruption issues. And so let us know that when it comes to corruption, we have invested a lot in the fight, and we still continue to engage in ensuring that we are able to fight it to the latter. It is not something you can achieve in a day or in a year or something, but once the effort is there, and once we are committing a lot more resources, and once we are deliberate about it, and once we get the support and the backing of Ghanaians, don't forget that when it comes to government businesses, it is the civil servants who play a key role. If any person in power wants to steal or do whatever untoward, he would need the assistance from a civil servant. And so if Ghanaians are apt that we are not going to engage in any corruption issues, then of course it will make the fight pretty much easier.
Okay.
Ghana ranks 72 on the list.
We did some days, 72, some days. Lawyer, your comment on the IGP issue, the committee, the ad hoc committee issue, and then
the fact that there's been a leak.
Yeah, is it because of the fact that it's been delayed for a while, and that's why reports are such?
And the chairman and the members of the committee should be very, very careful. Because if the report comes out and it aligns with this report,
that's where the problem is now. That's where the problem is now.
Yeah. And if they know that is how it's going to be, they shouldn't go and doctor it all to make it look different from what has come out. Now, we don't know who brought this out. Have they been able to tell us? Have they been able to investigate?
They just debunked it, but never were able to give details.
Let's go into detail. The gentleman who...
The chairman.
No, the gentleman who accused the IGP.
Alex,
what's the name?
COP. Yeah.
He is saying that it's a ploy to destroy his political career. And he seems to know who is doing it. Expose. Let's be transparent about these things. Nothing to hide. Don't sweep anything under the carpet. Expose. This is a serious thing.
Yeah.
If this document is true to the original document that is going to come out, Yawasemka.
How do you defend?
How?
A situation like that?
So I'm saying that the chairman, my good friend and my schoolmate in Adisado, please be very, very careful of how you handle this. Because the people will point fingers at you if it so happens that this report and your report are aligned. So let's be careful.
Great. Adele.
But anyway, why would anybody want to leak this report? Why? If there's no ulterior motive, why?
But lawyer, you realize that it's been a while and that issue seems to be going off, the minds of Ghanaians.
Patience is a virtue, PMJ.
Very well, I understand.
Patience is a virtue.
I'm just
let the
that
truth
many
thing
people
come
feel
out.
that we have to hear about
Look,
this issue.
we are hurrying. Everything, pentem. No crying here. The truth is what matters. If it takes time for the truth to come out, let's be patient and let's see what comes out. Where's the rush? Is the IGP, has he been booted out?
Yes,
is he still not there?
Yeah.
So what is it?
Adele.
KMJ, this issue on, I just want to tap on this a little bit. John Mahama's Corruption Perception Index, his worst performance still remains their best. His worst. You can't compare. It just doesn't make any sense. But let's look at the issue of the IGP. KMJ, I am praying and I'm hoping that when the final report comes out, like Prof indicated, if it turns out that what we have read, because I'm reading it and the kind of things that are inside, if it is the same things that we're going to see, that's serious. Like, that's like a whole national setup. A whole national setup, like to say, a whole national setup, committee is working, and then the report is out there, even before its final findings, or to make it public. But the issue of the IGP, and when this thing came up, I have said, to sit down and plot the removal of the IGP is not one that anyone can take for granted. It is tantamount to doing a coup. It is almost as saying that somebody has the power, or somebody tomorrow would have the power to sit down and plan in this Fourth Republic to find ways of removing the president. It's no joke. We're all taking it lightly. Now, when you look at the report and what we're reading now and what they have said, they are saying this is not what it is. But when you look at the report and what we're reading now, I would have expected that to be the final conclusion. Because regardless of whatever issues you have with the IGP, regardless of whether you believe in how he does his work, regardless of what you believe in, there are processes. You don't go and hold secret meetings to an extent that the NPP Northern Regional Chairman records it and says he fears for what is being planned and tells the committee that I sent it to the president because of what I felt and the fear that I had. Because when they came to me the first time I had the conversation, I decided that I needed to get a recorder. So he actually bought the recorder and then installed in his office and then continued the conversation just so he can have something to hold. Because he says when he goes to the president, the president would always lay back and go like, okay, give me evidence. The president is always about, give me evidence. Cecilia, at the Price House, we've seen money, give me evidence.
But that's part of the investigation.
I'm just saying.
We need the evidence.
I know. Even when the evidence is in front of the president, he says he hasn't seen
Maybe
it.
the time it takes for the evidence to come, and that's but
I'm
evidence
coming.
you can.
During the time of the NDC, when we were in power, when the issue of the Anas Armiao did his investigation on the judges and all of that, and the president came blabbing and all of that, I need evidence, I need videos and blah, 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 and this is how I'm going to do, this is the Anas principle we're going to use. When he came to power, and the same investigations were done by Anas, and this whole Galamsey thing, Charles, Bisu and all of that, didn't he clear them? Charlie, when the evidence is in front of him, he throws this aside. He says one thing and does something else. But we're saying that at the end of the day, he clears. The president does clear. Or Claire. Nothing is coming out there. I'm landing. Why? Don't be comfortable. I'm landing. My last statement on this issue is just basic. We're saying that, look, the NDC is poised for elections 2024. I said this yesterday. If they want, they should carry Napo and go and bring Educhum. They should have 2 vice presidents. They should amend the constitution, have 2 vice presidents. They'll still go home, inshallah.
Okay.
The people of Ghana are sick and tired of it. Oust IGP. Don't oust IGP. Bring somebody else. Don't bring anybody else. They have told us, and we have learned, that elections are won at the polling stations, not the court. The polling station. We'll police the polling station. We will win at the polling station. We'll announce our results.
Very well, gentlemen. Unfortunately, our time is out for this morning, so we have to be going. But let me say a big thank you to all of you for making time this morning. You heard Adele Ibn Sheikh Umar Ibrahim, National Communications and the Director of Operations for Greater Accra Youth Wing, the NDC, this morning here on the show. Thank you so much, Adele. Manasseh Atabwai works for the NPP, Government Spokesperson on Economy and Finance, joining us this morning as well. Manasseh, a very big thank you to you for making time for us. And of course, Lawyer Kwame Gentua is Senior Member CPP, holds many positions, done a lot in this country, and it's an honor and pleasure to have you here. And thank you so much for making time for us this morning. God bless you. Service. No, you take the food of God and lead the country. Mostly the country doesn't work at a certain point in time, but it's all good. We love it. But that's our time for this morning here on News Flash, and there's still more coming up here on the show. Siedwa is standing by to give us what's trending in the world of trends, and of course, Nathaniel Ato will be coming through with the latest update in the world of sports as well. And a bit later, we've got relationship conversation also coming up. But let me say a big thank you to you, Adele, yesterday for supporting the project that we did for the children at the SCC. That's the Senior Correctional Center for the Ghana Prisons. And also, I want to take a bit of time to say a big thank you to the authorities at the facility for giving us the opportunity to do the presentation and also the donation for the children while I celebrated my birthday with them yesterday. It's a bit of a list, but let me do this. It's important that I do this. Please give me time. DDP Millicent Owusu is the officer in charge at the facility. ADP Roland Subeg is also the second in charge. And then Superintendent Bright Dobachi is the staff officer. DSP James Akobere is also assistant staff officer, and also DSP James Arthur is the assistant operations. ASP Gloria Kusi was also there. ASP Cecilia Kusi Mensa, ASP Richard Annan, ASP Agnes Owusu, ASP Agatha Aqua, and School Okai, and also to Corporal Cecilia. Those names that I've mentioned are all staff that work with the Senior Correctional Center at the Ghana prisons for the young children between the ages of 13 and 21. Yesterday, we had a really good time, and I want to say a big thank you to the authorities over there for making it possible for us to have a day to celebrate my birthday with these, children. We had so much to do. And these kids are children that want to be lawyers, want to be pilots, want to be artists and all of that. By virtue of their circumstances, they have to serve some sort of jail sentence over there. But because they are juvenile, they don't refer to them as prisoners. And so it's the offenders, young offenders that they call them. And they need support. No, I'll be having conversations with you on that.
Mentoring them.
Yes. I'll be going there again sometime next week. Some of them have shown interest in doing so many things, and I'll be having conversations with you on that, so we can start the mentorship and all of that. And
I met quite a lot of people.
Great.
AGI. So.
Oh, that'll be good. We can be going there every weekend, have a session with them. I would appreciate that. So I'll have conversations with you on that. So yeah, to every other person that supported your donations, it was a short period of time, but you guys made it happen. And they are doing so many things with their hands over there. They have mechanic space. They weave. They do everything. We actually bought this from there. I actually bought this. This is what they did. The facility, the children actually did this. And when you go there, you can purchase it, and they get some monies from what you purchase from there. So let's all support them. Let's donate to them. Let's help them. And once again, many thanks to all of you for the support. Thank you so much. It's Newsflash. My name is KMJ.